Welcome back to another episode of Anxiety Doesn't Own Me. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to heal their anxiety naturally. On today's episode, guys, what I'm going to be talking about is how to deal with overthinking, how to stop overthinking, because this is something that plagues people with anxiety. We tend to overthink about everything. It doesn't matter whatever it is, we're just overthinkers. And we have to figure out why we do that, number one. And then number two, how do we deal with the overthinking? How do we stop that? Because it gets very annoying and it puts a lot of stress on us. And whenever it's doing that, it's affecting our sympathetic nervous system. And our goal here is to heal our sympathetic nervous system, right? Because that's what's causing us to have an anxiety disorder. So we need to heal that, and we need to start taking off the pressure and the stress from our sympathetic nervous system. And overthinking can put more stress and pressure on ourselves. And the reason why, number one, the reason why we overthink, and this is why we need to understand why we do it, is because we want to make sure that everything is going to work out the way we want it. We want to make sure that everything is going to be perfect. We want to make sure that we won't experience for example, a panic attack. So we overthink the situation. Again, you can put in your own situation that you overthink about, but with the majority of people, it's because we want to make sure that everything is going to work out. We want to make sure that everything's going to be okay, that everything's going to be perfect, that we're not going to experience certain emotions or deal with certain things. So this is why we tend to overthink. But overthinking doesn't really help. Overthinking, and I know it's not something that we just naturally, okay, you know what, I want to overthink. It just comes to us, right? It's not something, okay, you know what, I want to overthink. We're not choosing to overthink. It just happens that way. But we need to ask ourselves, say, you know what, okay, overthinking doesn't really help because the mind is trying to figure out the future. It's trying to figure out that situation. It's trying to figure out whatever it is, but it can only figure out certain things. It can't figure out everything. It can't predict and see what's going to happen in the future. And I remember I talked about this I think it was 2 episodes ago, about making decisions. And this also can make us overthink because we want to make the right decisions. We want to make sure that everything's going to be okay. So this also affects that whenever we have to make a decision. Again, the brain can't really know what's going to happen in the future, and what we're trying to do over here is trying to control and make sure that, hey, everything's going to be okay. We're trying to control the entire situation. We're trying to find the solution in our mind and how we are going to be okay, how we're going to be fine. That's what we're trying to do. But there are situations that we're not going to have the solution. We're not going to have that clarity. And the only way is if we actually go ahead into the situation that we are overthinking about. So with overthinking, we need to do certain things so that we can stop overthinking about situations. And it's not a simple thing. And there's a reason why we are. Again, anxiety can make us overthink. It could, because again, right now our self-esteem and our self-confidence is very low. And whenever somebody has low self-confidence, it could affect them in making decisions. It could affect them in making sure that everything is okay. Like making sure, let's say, for example, with everything being perfect, everything needing to be perfect, right? Whatever it is, that's putting pressure on us. But the reason why we're trying to make everything perfect and we're overthinking about that situation is because our self-esteem is shot. Our self-esteem is low. Or it could be that we are afraid that we may have a panic attack over there or experience something bad. So we overthink the situation of how it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be like this, but what if this thing happens? And what if I experience this? And what if nobody's there whenever it happens? And whenever the thoughts are coming in, right? It's just like we're overthinking. We're trying to find a solution and how to try to calm ourselves down, but it hasn't been helping us. It makes it worse. So how can we stop this thing from happening? How can we stop to overthink on everything? How can we stop overthinking of like, why am I experiencing this anxiety? Why am I going through this? I don't get it. Like, how can I get out of this situation? How come I'm not getting out of this situation? Like, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Am I making a mistake over here? Like, there's so many thoughts that pop up. But again, the question is, how do we stop that? So the way we can stop it, then there's a few ways that we can do, and we can apply this. And again, we can just take one thing at a time and try to see if that thing is going to help us or not. Now, what we could do, the first thing is, you know what? I'm going to take a break from this situation, whatever it is. I'm just going to step aside for 5-10 minutes, and then I'll come back to it. That is something that I do whenever I'm overthinking about a situation and I can't make a decision. It's hard for me. So what I do is I take a step backwards and I say, you know what, right now, overthinking is just stressing me out. It's overwhelming me. I can't figure out. I can't control the situation, whatever it is. I'm going to take a step back. Whenever we do that, that helps us to get a different perspective. Because whenever our mind, it's overthinking, we're getting stressed out. And whenever we're stressed out, we can't think clearly. So whenever we take a step back and we say, you know what, for now, I'm just going to put this on the shelf for now. I'm not going to address it or anything like that. I'm just going to take a step back and see what happens in 10 minutes. Whenever you do that, you take a break, you're able to see the situation in a different light. It's happened to me over and over again. Whenever I am stuck on a problem and I'm trying to figure out and I can't, and this doesn't go through my mind, I'm like, wait, like, let's take a step backwards and we'll come back to this and let's see what happens. And 99% of the time, I come back with a solution and I just don't overthink it as I did before. It's like a different kind of feeling. So that's one thing that we can do. The next thing that we can do is talk to yourself. Talk to yourself and tell yourself, hey, listen, you are afraid of making a mistake over here. You are afraid of failing. You are afraid of something bad happening. We need to talk to ourselves and tell ourselves, you know what? Number one, if we do make a mistake, we're going to learn from the mistake. If we do fail, we are going to learn from the failure. That's what we're going to do. If right now I'm telling myself that something bad may happen or I may have a panic attack, okay, so how can I solve this? What can I do over here to change that? Maybe I can look at the situation as in more of a hopeful and positive way. So I want to instill that in me, that whenever I'm thinking about a future event, and this is you talking to yourself, that let's look at it more in a positive way. Let's look at it more of a hopeful way, that things are going to be out good and everything's going to work out perfectly and everything's going to work out fine and it's going to have we're going to have a great time. That automatically calms you down. Again, because our brain can't differentiate between reality and what's not. Because if you think a certain thought, a negative thought, you're going to have a negative experience. But if you think more of a positive one, you're going to feel much better. So we want to get to that point where we feel much better. So whenever we think about a more hopeful situation, a more positive way, that situation, whatever it is, we're going to be much calmer, and that's going to help us to stop overthinking about the situation. And also, whenever we are afraid of having a panic attack, say, you know what? How can I tell myself? How can I speak to myself? And also, whenever we are afraid of having a panic attack, we can learn certain techniques that helps us to calm down the panic attacks. So you know what? I'm going to learn how to stop having a panic attack, and I'm going to apply that. That's going to help. Now, another thing is that we can do is, as you know, whenever we're overthinking, is that we're trying to control the situation. We're trying to control the outcome of the situation. Let go of the control. Tell yourself, you know what? I'm letting go of the control. I have no control over the situation, whatever it is. I'm just going to let it go, and that's okay. Whatever's going to happen is okay. This is, again, talking to yourself. It's a very powerful technique. Whenever you talk to yourself, say, you know what, I'm just going to let go of the control. Whatever happens, it's going to happen. And most likely, something good is going to happen. Again, instill that goodness, instill that positivity in the situation. That's going to help you to calm down. Because again, our goal is to stop to overthink, because overthinking does not help. It may have given you the solution in the past. And this is what's one of the reasons, another reason why we do it. But majority of the time, it doesn't give us the solution. And we just get addicted to that feeling because, hey, overthinking one time did give me the solution. But in generally speaking, it doesn't. It doesn't. And we need to stop that. And letting go of the control and thinking more of a positive outcome helps us to calm down, which helps us to stop overthinking. Now, another thing is that, as I said before, is that we're not confident with the situation. We're not confident about what's going to happen. We're nervous. So we need to start building confidence in ourselves, regardless of the situation, whatever it is. And generally speaking, we need to build more confidence. We have to build more confidence. That will help us to calm down in general. That'll help us to feel much calmer. You understand? And also to have knowledge on how to properly deal with the situation. Overthinking is not a proper way in dealing with situations. It's not. There is a way in how to deal with situations and how to look at certain things. I gave you a few examples of what you could do, but there's definitely more out there. There definitely is, and we need to figure out and say to ourselves, okay, how do I deal with the situation that I'm overthinking about? How can I deal with it? Because again, overthinking is not the solution to the problem. It may have given you the solution once, but the thing is that it is not giving you the solution in majority of the situations that you're in. In the majority of the times whenever you are overthinking. And we need to change this pattern in order to stop overthinking so that way we can feel much better. If you are looking for a natural remedy in order to help you to deal with your anxiety and help you on your journey to overcome it, I created Calmly CBD, where it specifically helps you to calm down your anxiety and panic attacks. And as well, it doesn't make you feel drowsy. It doesn't make you feel sleepy. And it helps you to just feel calm so you can actually do things throughout the day like work, drive, go out, and do whatever you like in a more calmer state of mind, as well as not addictive or has any side effects or any withdrawals, which this way can actually help you to heal your anxiety and get you to the destination in overcoming your anxiety much quicker. You can click the link that's in the description. It would say Calmly CBD to place your order today. And then right now it's on sale for a limited time where you can buy one and get the second one free. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.